think it's safe to say I really owe it to my parents for fostering my interest in the outdoors and nature, anything that has to do with just being outside and being one with the natural world. I always grew up playing outside, running around in the woods, playing sports, just doing what every kid loves to do, except it was a little bit more for me. I really enjoyed getting outside and going camping and maybe spending a week or a couple days out where there is no TV or internet or any of these modern necessities that we've become accustomed to. Studying civil engineering here in college and focusing more on the environmental sides of things within the major has really allowed me to understand how our actions every day when throwing out trash or even just driving down the road can really impact this planet that we've grown to love and really depend upon for everyday resources and just the ability to do everything that we do. And it's just really allowed me to understand how, even though we do all these things and we might not see the toll that it's causing on the earth, it is, even though you can't see it, maybe just yourself. But if you look at places around the earth, you can see how those actions over hundreds of years have gone to destroy things that previous generations knew and loved as beautiful, fresh, green space. Now it's not. It's paved into parking lots and turned into roads and airports, and it's just gone. And it's probably never going to come back again. But this poem really allows the reader to understand that even though we may be destroying the earth and beating it to bits, that God's going to be there to take care of it and make sure everything is coming back together. God's Grandeur by Gerard Manley Hopkins. The world is charged with the grandeur of God. It will flame out like shining from shook foil. It gathers to a greatness like the ooze of oil, crushed. Why do men then now not wreck his rod? Generations have trod, have trod, have trod. All is seared with trade, bleared, smeared with toil, and wears man's smudge, and shares man's smell. The soil is bare now, nor can foot feel being shod. And for all this, nature is never spent. There lives the dearest freshness deep down things, and though the last lights off the black west went, O morning at the brown brink eastward springs. Because the Holy Ghost over the bent world broods with warm breast and with bright wings. I think one of the most powerful devices in this poem is the repetition in the first stanza, where Hopkins uses the line, have trod, have trod, have trod. And this just, even reading it, it really emphasizes how it's just going to keep on going. This isn't the first time that we've messed up the earth, and it's certainly not going to be the last. We continue to pound the earth and not let up in what we're doing at all. And I think that's not going to change. It's not going to stop anytime soon, which is very well shown through the repetition in the poem. And it just emphasizes that we're going to keep on doing this, and every time there's going to be someone there to fix it, hopefully. In the second stanza, Hopkins utilizes assonance to emphasize his points, and it really creates for an interesting read. There's a lot of repeated sounds. For example, nature never, deep down, west went, and brown brink. And together these lines really tie up your tongue when you're reading the poem and makes it a very complex read in the second stanza. And I think this could be linked to how complex this whole situation is, and there's not really an easy fix to the problems that man has created over time of beating down the earth for generations and really tearing it apart. It's not going to be a snap of the fingers and everything's going to be back to normal, even though the poem kind of implies this, that God's just going to come down and fix everything. I think in this day and age it's hard to accept that. We've all seen where things have fallen apart and it's taken a lot of work to get them back together, and I don't think that's really what Hopkins was writing about at the time, but I think this poem, through the time since it's been written, has really changed meanings and really developed a whole new life.